Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for another series, another episode of the Winning Mondays. And today we have a treat. Today we have a few guests here that will be talking about database. And today we want to focus about database, right? But before we start the conversation today, it's just to kind of give everyone a perspective that we are going to enter a shift in the market. We have not felt it yet, but I believe you'll be entering into a shift in the market. And the goal of us is trying to align everyone and leverage on how can we use database and technology to enhance our business to prepare for the shift. Now, as we start this morning's conversation on Zoom and also on Facebook. Now, if you're on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. Do like us and just click share on the share button so that everyone else can hear this message. I believe our industry need to hear about this shift, because the reality is in this shift, there will be a lot of people in our industry will be affected. So we are trying to, as a company, we are trying to help our industry to understand what can we do to overcome this shift, right? And database and technology is one of the opportunities for us to enhance ourselves in this season. Now, let's start the conversation this morning with a poll. I'm going to start a poll right now. Now, for those on Facebook, you can't see my poll, but I'm going to ask you those questions, right? The poll is launching right now. The first question is this: where do you keep your database of contacts? Right? Either on command, spreadsheets, on my phone, here and there, everywhere, or others, right? Please take a time to answer the question. Where do you keep your database of contacts? Those on Facebook, please just put in the comment box. Where do you put your database of contacts, right? Put that there. And the second question is, do you have a system to regularly communicate with everyone in your database? Yes or no? Right. So the first question is, if someone in the virtual support can help me type this into the Facebook chats. Where do you keep your database of contacts? Right. Please put in the chat box. I'm going to leave the poll open for about 1 more minute as we are waiting for more participants to join us. Where do you keep your database of contacts right now? And the second question is, do you have a system that regularly communicate with everyone in your database? Yes or no? So the first question is a 4 options or 5 options. The second question is a yes or no question, right? Virtual support, if you can help me put that question into Facebook live on the chat box, that will be very, very helpful. Thank you so much, virtual support. Right. It's interesting to see where is our database. The good thing is a lot of us have database. Now, we only have 20-30% participants. I ask that all of us will participate so that it will help you think through where you are right now in your business, right? Where you are right now in your business, right? I'm going to give another 20 seconds more to go. 20 seconds for us to answer those questions. 20 seconds, give you 20 seconds, 10 more seconds to go. Please participate in the poll if you just join us. The poll is, where do you keep your database of contacts? Choose one. Second one is, do you have a system to regularly communicate with everyone in your database? Yes or no? Or not really, I'm trying to build one. Awesome. Right, I'm going to end the poll right now, and I'm going to publish the results. Can y'all see my results? Is everyone able to see my results, Nick?
Not sure if everyone can see your results. Can the participants share with us?
Yes, everyone can see my results. Now,
good.
Yeah, 28% of you are keeping your contacts in command. 28% of you are in a spreadsheet or Excel sheet or Google sheet. 39%, which is the majority, is actually on your phone. 6 is here and there everywhere. It's very interesting. At least the reality is all of us have some of our database stored somewhere. The challenge is it stored in a format or in a place that has the best opportunity for us to use and harness the database, right? That's the question that we want to answer today. The next question is, do you have a system to regularly communicate with everyone? 11% say yes, 39% say no. 50% say not really, but I'm trying to build one. So meaning a lot of us here today, we are thinking about how do we have a system to regularly communicate with our database. So it's very interesting to see the disparity. Nicholas, everybody welcome Nicholas, our Chief Technology Officer for KW Malaysia.
Nick, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, when you see this post result, what are your thoughts in your head straight away?
I think I have just one word that's expected. That's when I actually see the result of this. As we actually did the survey 3 months ago, I would say that the majority of people would probably put 50% on the phone in terms of their database, and also whether do they regularly communicate with the database. I would say majority would say no. And I'm actually happy to see the progress over here, that we have now reduced it to 39% of people that actually have the database on the phone, and many have actually shifted their database on the spreadsheet and also in the KW command. Yeah.
Right. So you're seeing some progress, but at the same time, there is that opportunity for us to improve. Because I think some of us are learning, some of us are progressing. But most importantly is most of us have database. That's the key thing, right?
Yes.
And that's the saving grace that we all have right now. And the question is, how do we use it, right? How do we use it? Now, how many of you are ready to start the conversation this morning? If you're ready, please say yes on the chat box. If you're already in Facebook, please click yes and like on the chat box so that we can start the conversation moving forward, right? Right. Today, in order to facilitate this conversation, we wanted to bring in a guest that is an agent like all of us, and they are already using and leveraging on their database in order to run their business. So first of all, I'm very proud to have Rina Zaabar from Market Center 1 to be with us today, and our dear brother Roslan from Market Center 3 to be here with us today. Maybe I would ask, for the benefit of those who are watching on live on Facebook as well in Zoom, who may not know you. It's hard not to know Rina and Roslan in the KW family, but just for the benefit of everyone else, Rina, maybe you want to quickly introduce yourself and tell us about your background in your real estate business.
Yeah, hi everybody. Good morning. My name is Rina, and then I've been in this industry. This year is my 12th year. And I focus primarily in KLCC area. What else?
Yes, so you're 12 years in the business.
Yeah.
You started when you were 10 years old, so now you're about 22 years old. Got it? We understand.
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. Roslan, how about you? Roslan, just a little bit about yourself. How are you in your business, and a little bit of introduction.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. I am Roslan Shapri. I was a former flight crew with Malaysia Airlines in the mid-90s, and then involved with few renowned developers in the Klang Valley as a sales exec, and then also active in the government sector for the whole Malaysia during my stint as a commercial manager with the sewage treatment plant manufacturer behind the scenes with developers. And I've been a full-time REN since 2010. And currently, I'm pursuing my EA license and currently undergoing 2 years of logbook process as a probationary estate agent. So has been with Redfield since 2014 or 2015, but started in 2010. So basically, it's about Rina's time, about 12 years, I think. 11,
right. So both of you now are 22 years old. We know that fact. That
yeah.
You started at 10 years old and you're 22
I'm
years
21
old.
actually.
You're 21. Okay, you're
Yeah.
younger than Rina. So you started at 9. Okay, awesome. Now, the first question I want to ask both of you, and since Roslan, I'm going to start with you first.
Yeah.
How important is database for agents?
In my opinion, it's a very, very important subject where when you understand the purpose or reason to it, because if you don't understand the main purpose of what database or the understanding of the word database is, you won't understand, or you won't have this as part of your life or part as your career of methods or process that you use in your career, because database, without you realizing it is always part of what you do daily, whether it's your work, your family, your hobbies. For example, when you have a family, you already have a database of your relatives in your phone. Those are basically database. And when you have a hobby, for example, you play guitar, you have a database of guitar shops in your phone. You have your database of Gundam suppliers or sellers in your phone. So basically, you've already been doing that, So, but most are separating this into two separate issues. For example, when you talk about database in real estate, many felt that it is something which is very difficult to do, which is something not easy. You know, the most say I cannot do database, but actually we have been doing it in our daily life since we were small, or since we started to have phones or contacts on things like that lah. And then one of the thing why I think it's important is that when you have a database, it grounds you to the reality of being a realtor. When you know in the back of your mind you have a number of leads or clients that is or was attached to your database, because without this you normally ends up doing everything that you can, you know, without any clear focus on whatever things that you need to do to be successful. But most of the time when you don't have this focus, you always end up in failures lah. So in my opinion, database keeps you focused on what you need to do based on the demographic of each and every contact in your list. So that is why it is very, very important for all realtors in the real estate industry.
Right, it's very interesting. Thank you for sharing this. But it's very interesting that you brought out a very good point, that the way database is actually a lifestyle, is the way we live our life. We are already somehow utilizing database for our everyday daily lives. And the challenge is when we go to work in our business, especially, we find that it's very difficult to think that way, because I think the real estate agent is an action person. They like to close the transaction, like to meet people, but they don't think behind that part where database is important. But yet you brought out the point that database is something that we all have been exposed to at a very young age. I still remember my mom has a telephone book where all the phone numbers, in those days, mobile phone was not a main thing. Like everybody stored, there's a book next to the phone at home. I don't know whether you all remember that. Those who are, all of us who are
Younger.
younger age, there's always that directory book that mom will always write down all the phone numbers of all the people inside there. I don't know if you all remember that, and then we refer that to that phone book to call people, right? So that's already part of our lifestyle already, just that we sometimes don't know how to connect it back to our work, right? Rina, how about you, Rina? Why do you think database is important, and how important is this for agents?
First of all, I think we have to go back to the basic of doing business, right? And then us as a real estate agent or real estate negotiator, basically we are all a business people. We run this profession as a business person. So when you look back, just think back about a bread and mortar type of business at your hometown, right? Like for example, maybe a bicycle shop that has already been there at your neighborhood, like for so long, since you are a baby until now, you know, maybe like took like 30-40 years, but still actually surviving and thriving regardless of the market condition. And then what surprised you more is this type of businesses, they don't even do advertisement at all, nothing, you know. Then how does this business survive? So eventually in any business, not only in real estate but all other business, your survival and your real asset rely on database, no matter what business. And this is very apparent, especially when you do agency type of business, not only real estate but insurance, unit trust, multi-level marketing. Especially if you notice that the first thing that all these businesses will do, they will hand out to you like in KW we call it SOI, who is your immediate, like, okay, friends, family, colleagues, all that, right? So that actually emphasize that, you know, in any business at all, database are very, very important. It's actually the real asset of your business. If I give another example, restaurant, right? Usually, if you go to Mudah, there will be a lot of sometimes business for sale and they're selling restaurant. The thing is, what make a restaurant valuable? It's not actually equipment in the restaurant itself. Like for example, they are selling at certain prices for that restaurant, for the Ben Mary and their kitchen equipment, utensils and ID whatsoever. But whoever wanted to buy that restaurant is for the client, the customer that come in, the regular customer, the database of the restaurant that makes the restaurant have value, not their asset per se in the balance sheet, but the real asset would be on the database of the client. So for me, that is the real asset of a business, and that is how important database is to our business as well.
You brought a very good point that many businesses are already running their business based on database, and the value of that restaurant, right, is the consumer or the customers that comes in regularly. And how, and I think it gets up a different value when, if I go and tell my buyer of this restaurant now, I've got 7,000 regular customers contacts that I have right now, that I'm talking to them systematically. Now, I think COVID has given us the gift, and a lot of business during COVID have resolved to direct marketing to their database, because shops are not open, people can't dine in, people are staying at home. The only way they can engage is to go straight to the people that used to come to the restaurant and ask them, hey, would you want to buy something? Would you want the same experience? But it's at home right now. And COVID has given that perspective. I know of one lady that because of COVID, right, lost her job and couldn't fund her family and decided to run a business directly from her home. I think one of my friends, I think it was Mariah's husband, that introduced this person, and then I keep on ordering from her once a week. And she sells very good Indian food. I love Indian food, by the way. Very good chicken varwal, if you know what chicken varwal is. And it's on Mondays and Fridays, she has chicken varwal. So I know, because you know why? For the past 2 years, she has been sending me daily menus. And I believe thousands of people have been receiving her menus every single day. Now, I used to buy once or twice a week during COVID, during the lockdown. But after lockdown, it's now maybe once or twice a month. But yet, I'm still connected with her to buy from her, because she's using database, running a food business from her kitchen. And I think for a real estate agent, is nothing different from that. It's just how we think about our business and how we set our business into a system, right? So Rina, what about you? Next question to you is, what's your approach or your mindset in building or growing or managing a database? What's that mindset like?
First of all is, I always feel that always start small, because database can be overwhelming. So how I manage to do it is because I think about small step, big impact, small step, big impact. So I start small. So it does not overwhelming, and it's easy to manage, and you always have quick wins. And then at first it's very difficult. That means it start with a discipline. So then turn the discipline into the habits. Once the discipline become habits, then it'll be easy.
Right.
And then I also stop myself from overthinking. It's like, do not overthink, just do, you know. It's once I start overthinking, this is where actually I got stuck. So usually I will remind myself, okay, just do. And then I also don't judge the context too much, meaning that, you know, whoever that I meet regularly, as long as is a human being and have phone number and email address, he will goes into the database. You know, I don't really judge whether this person have potentially can be my client or whatsoever. Just build the relationship first. And then I also have this awareness that this is a long-term game. It's not about closing tomorrow or closing another week, but it's a long-term game. And then I just focus on building meaningful relationship with all these people. And I think the most importantly is always think about giving value, how to give value, genuine value to my to my database, because I think because I also in someone else database, and when I'm in someone else database, and when they are contact with me, and I know it's like I'm getting that email or I'm getting that messages for the sake of I'm being processed into buying something, I can feel it. So I suppose that even my database also, if I do the same thing, you know, without thinking so much and just do it, right, they also will feel that way, that I'm not sincere in building meaningful relationship with them. So I put that in mind when I'm managing my own database.
Actually, it
Right.
reminds me of our conversations, Rina, earlier, where it's, you actually brought up a point just now that you're actually overthinking of the database, right? Would you like to share with us
Yeah.
how was you back then when you overthink of the
Yeah,
database? You know, we
I
have
was
this.
about to ask the same question because I think a lot of us sometimes overthink things. But like, can you share a little bit in detail? What does it mean?
Because I actually kind of like a strategic person, right? So and then I always think overall. So when I think overall, like the strategy that I always think about strategy, and then how is this tagging will fit this one, and how this tagging will fit that one. And then while thinking, I couldn't find like a perfect way of tagging or perfect way of doing or finding a solution. So I do not pursue further. I just give up. I just want to manage. I just do whatever that feel comfortable to me at that moment. Anything else, I will do anything else except for managing the database. So once you know that once I just make it simplified, just start with, okay, don't think about the 5,000 contacts inside my phone. Just think about the first 50 first.
Hmm.
And actually, at that time, I was not even 50. Think about 20 first, because that one, it take less than 5 minutes to do. Then it become bearable, it become manageable, and it become easy to do when I just think very small without overthinking. And then I also feel that, okay, just it's not like the tagging is like carved in carved in stone, meaning that if I do it, I cannot change it again.
Right.
So I just say that I will never get things perfect. It will evolve along the way. So that acceptance actually made me start.
Right. Right. I think it's thinking big, running a systematic database for your business. That's a big thinking. But you start small. How can I manage 20 database today? 20 20 a day, 20 a day. And if you do 20 a day for the next 1 year, you will see that you have a very systematic database done. And that's how I think you all should think about starting. Not so much try to organize the whole phone book. Some of us, I know when they sing their phone book, right? They're like 5,000 contacts, right? How do they do that in 1 day? It's just not possible, right? But to go deep, not start small, think big, start small, grow deep, right? But how about you, Roslan? What's your mindset and approach when you are building and growing and managing a database?
Basically, like what Rina said, overthinking of doing it in the first place. But now my approach to this is basically simple. The first thing that I always tell myself is that when I do a database, it's always for myself and not for anyone else. It's not for example, for John, it's not for Nicholas, or it's not for Rina. I'm not going to have to report my database to anyone, because in the end, this database is going to be what is beneficial to me myself. So the mindset or the approach toward this is just to do it. For example, like 5,000, 10,000 numbers in your phone, that is very overwhelming, and you know that you can never sort out all those contacts, and because sometimes you just simply save a number that call you for one reason or whatever. So what you do is that, especially because some of the our own brands also have called me and asked me how I do database. So my advice to them is simple. It's just that, just do it. If you're overwhelmed by your current 5,000, 10,000 numbers in a book, just start anew. For example, you do your campaigns and you start getting leads from that. So that will be your first batch of your database. And then after a while, after a year or 6 months or a year, that lead of the leads that you got from from campaigns will be your next will be basically the same number as the one that you have in your phone book. So, and you separate that two item. One is basically new database, where you start, in order for you to get familiarized with a command, or with whatever system that you have. For example, from campaigns to leads to smart plan to KW activate, to opportunities, to all the ones that we have in command. And then from there, this is where you manage your database lah. Because the most important thing about database is that you can have 100,000 database in your keeping, but no point of having that if there's no communication between you and your database. because we are talking here about human beings that has been in contact with you. We are not talking about some who are doing taking numbers from lists or things like that we don't even know. Those are basically not your database. Those are basically all your marketing or whatever things that you do on marketing purposes. So database is very important because there's basically a personal touch between you and that contact number. So how you manage your database is to really know what's in your database is someone which is who is important to you, no matter who they are, whether they are going to be a seller, whether going to be a buyer, or basically just another resource for you to leverage on. For example, a lawyer, architect, or anyone that is relevant or related to the real estate industry. So the approach to building a database is simple. Just do it. If you're overwhelmed by your current list of phone numbers in your phone, just start a new, build your database from there. And from that 5,000 list of numbers that you have currently, existing one, do it like, for example, 10 or 15 numbers a day, because the keyword to this is consistent. You have to be consistent in doing it. You don't have to do it 1 hour or 2 hours or even spend 3 hours a day to time block just for your database. 10 or 15 minutes a day to sort out from your database, from your phone book is good enough. And then after a period of time, you basically finish all the 5,000 numbers within, for example, a month, just by about 5 or 10 minutes a day. So in the end, after 3 or 6 months, you'll have a new database from your leads, from your campaigns, and at the same time, you already incorporated your database from your existing contacts into Command as well. So, and from there, you go to the next step, where this is where you start nurturing or start communicating with database that you have. But at the same time, new database will be coming in, but will not be as difficult as how you start. So basically, it's just the start to it, which you have to do, because if you keep on asking, keep on complaining, you're never going to start, and your database is not going to be there at all. So just my approach to it is just do it.
Right. For the benefit of everyone, just a perspective, Roslan, how big is your database right now?
From my contacts, I think there's about 5,000, 6,000.
Okay.
I'm still sorting out from there, but from my in Command, I have all the leads from my campaigns, from all the campaigns that I did for the past year. So that is, I think, about 1,000 or 2,000. But those are basically quality leads, quality database lah, because we have already been in contact, and everyone has been in contact with me. Before this, it was all through Command via Twilio or Smart Plans, and now since we have KW Activate, so it's much easier, with KW Activate via WhatsApp. So I just need to, for example, those who are there are certain categories of database contacts, which is you can contact every 3 months, can contact every 1 month, and you have to schedule them for contact on a certain period of time lah. So if you see any who are very, very high potential of, in the near future to buy or to sell a property, that is the one that you give priority to, and you start communicating. And sometimes communicating is not only about sales, it's all about communication between two human beings.
Yeah, it's also about adding value to the customers base that you basically have, right? I particularly like what Roslan just shared just now, like this is from both panelists, right? It's just basically just do it, not overthinking, just do it. I just want to add on one perspective over here. Actually, in fact, that I'm not too sure whether everyone know that every single contact that we are into, they are actually 256 people, right? This is the facts, which means if you have only as low as 40 people in your database, if basically you are reaching the potential of 10,000 people in their networks or in the potential network that you can basically reach out to. If you have a very high targeted leads of a group of contacts of people that you are actually managing and continuously reaching out, especially for those who are just starting in the real estate, I think this is going to be a very important mindset for you to have, even though you have a very small list, even though you're just starting in terms of your campaigns and reaching out to the people around you. Do note that even you have a very small list, the potential of reaching out to that group of customers is actually very, very huge. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Nick. And I like what Roslan is saying. I mean, just want to recap this, that you have generated about 2,000 leads from campaigns. And these are quality leads in a way that they are wanting to buy something or sell something. That's how you define. Is that how you define quality, Roslan?
Yes, I mean quality in terms of the response that they give when I contact them on the second phase of communication lah, you know.
Right. And then you tag them properly in context. I'm assuming you're putting them some in smart plans, talking to
Yes.
them.
All of them
Have
are
you-
in smart plans. Yeah.
All of them in smart plans right now because you kind of know what they are looking at and you structure your smart plans. How many people are in your smart plan on a weekly, monthly basis right now?
I don't have the exact figure, but you know, it's more on an ad hoc basis. For example, in each month, let's say for example, we have any celebrative festivities or things like that. So all this will be automatically sent to Smart Plan, and then also those who are currently, few of them are currently in the process of me helping them to either sell or them. So the frequency of communication will be higher lah. So in a month probably about, let's say about 200, about that lah. I mean that constant 200, even though we have about 2000 database leads in numbers of that database, but doesn't mean that you have to contact all those 2000 at the same time, because it will be just another monotonous thing that you do which is not producing results. So you just have to focus on the 10% which you know that is going to be beneficial to you or is going to be productive to you, because like I said in the first place, database is for you, it's for your business, it's for how you want to be known to your contacts, you know.
Right.
It's not for you to be known to the masses. That's another totally different story. You have social media for that, you know.
Right.
But this is where you already have contact communication with them. So that's why database is important, because if you don't have database, like in the 90s, I think millennials they don't know this. We have the yellow pages. You know, we get free yellow pages from Telecom last time. You know, it's a thick book. You know, I'm sure many of the millennials have not seen that. So last time when I was with the developer, you know, I don't have database. So what I do is like mass marketing, like what you do is now, you just simply blast SMS to people that you don't know. So what I did last time was I went through those yellow pages and start calling all these numbers, which is in Selangor or in KL, you know. But in the end, when after call, I don't know what happened to them. I don't
Right.
know who they are. Even when they call me back, I don't even know who they are, who they were
Correct.
at that time. So with a database, a proper managed database, you know, it's already been tagged in your command, in your system. So when they call, when you message you already know the name of this person, the reason why they call, or why you were in contact with them in the first place. So that's the importance of why database needs to really be sorted out with the tagging and all the names, things like that lah.
Yeah. Golden question for you, Roslan. In your past 1 or 2 years as you are managing your database, how many appointments transaction has happened because of this? Just a rough estimation.
In 2020, out of few campaigns that I did, leads that came in, so I think about, from database, it's from that itself, I think about 5 or 10, 5 to 10, I think, around that, rentals and sales, and also sellers as well.
Yeah, some are direct transactions, some are indirect because they give you the
Correct.
listing first, right?
And some of them, like what Nicholas said, one contact, they have about 250 contacts from there, and some of the database that I have, they referred me to another friend of theirs, you know, or their sphere of influence, or their circle of friends, you know. So that is where, you know, in the end, when you have a good database, you don't really care about what's happening outside anymore, because you are already focused on what you have at the moment.
Right.
So that is where you work on the you work on the that Pareto principle, on the 80-20 system lah.
How is this compared to previously, where before we use database, right? We are always advertising, right? We are hoping a banner, someone call in. We're hoping from the property portal, someone call in from the ads and all that. But I'm hearing from you that a lot of your business now is coming from this kind of lead generation, from campaigns and going to database and then the referrals and all that, right? How do you feel as an agent after moving to this direction compared to those days where we are all only focusing on banners, buntings, advertisements? How do you feel about this right now?
banners. I mean, banners at the actual property for sale is still very important to me. That is also another place that can generate leads or generate to increase your database.
Right.
In terms of advertising online, yeah, I used to have all the paid portals, premium paid portals, online. But now I only have one with this each property. But most of the marketing that I do now is via command and also via campaigns. So I save a lot on spending on this paid portals, which is getting more expensive and expensive as a day goes by. So I focus and try to work only on the certain network or certain sphere of influence or the circle of database that I have, and I focus on that, and rather than I go around like a headless chicken, trying to show myself in social media that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But in the end,
Right.
I'm like I say, in the end, it's not like what you are not doing this for anyone else. You are doing this for yourself. You don't need recognition from someone. You don't need appreciation from anyone except from your clients.
Right.
That's my take on that. No?
Well said. I'm very inspired because I think some of us need to move away from the today sale and start building a long-term sale pipeline, that these sales will never stop coming in. The business will not stop because we keep growing our database, we keep growing our quality of our relationship with our database. I think the key is having a proper database and building a quality relationship with it that will bring us more property, more value and more business to our business, right? Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit to Rina. Rina, I think recently we sat down and talk, and then we say that, hey, the companies will run a database bootcamp. We need to do something to start, because we realize 99% of the agents in our system and potentially in the industry don't really understand what a good database look like. Now, we recently had one in June. And with Nicholas and the team, like the tech team in the KW, the regional team, came out with this database bootcamp. What are some of your experiences and your testimony and you sharing in your how you have experienced this database bootcamp?
Okay. Oh, database bootcamp. Okay, when I first signed up for the database bootcamp, right, a lot of my peers actually asked me that, why do I need to attend database bootcamp? Because it is about managing database, which like it's kind of like simple, something that I can learn just from YouTube, and then it's something that is available information online, and it's very simple. But that's the thing. The thing is, it's not about learning. It's not so much about knowledge, but it's about doing the thing. So, and then doing the thing with, some simple tips, like, that make it the learning process a lot faster, and you are able to achieve more in a concentrated time. So it's about doing, actually, database bootcamp. So actually, I'm really, really loving it, because that is where all my stuck, all I'm overthinking, all those things that I'm having that actually prevent me from building my database gone. Because during the database bootcamp, I was taken step by step, how to start, and eventually just do it, just communicate to my database without thinking. I think because of the whole environment and the whole setup, and then the valuable tips, like, how to organize this, how to things that actually, if I were to do it myself, it will take a long time to even to format certain things inside the Google Sheet, right? So, so things like that. So for me, it's very, very powerful, because at the end of the day, it's about doing, and database bootcamp just do that. In fact, if there is another database bootcamp, I would like to attend it again, because even though it sounds simple, but it's not actually, and it's really, really effective.
Right. So credit to Nicholas and his team for coming up with this whole entire thing. And maybe, Nicholas, I want to pass the time to you right now to kind of brief us through what happened in the database bootcamp. What did you do? What you guys did? And how do you guys approach this, so that all of us can have a learnings from the process that we have been through the agents in the bootcamp?
Sure, definitely. Let me just share with everyone what are some of things that we actually run through in the database bootcamp. Actually, there are actually three key parts in terms of the database bootcamp that we actually have. I think the first part is basically to help everyone to build their database. So there are 5 key steps that we actually sit down with the agents to basically train each and everyone on every single step they actually need to basically build their database. And on the second part, we do a look into like how do they actually communicate with the database by tagging it correctly, by uploading the database correctly into KW command, and also like experiencing sending their first message. A lot of participants were like, well, how am I going to write my first message, right? We actually train them how to get themselves into the mode and ready for it. And also we do a group brainstorming on the smart plan. So technically that you're able to have your 1936 touch points with your database. And also we have also allowed time for them to prepare their personal smart plan at the same time as well. So the third part, we actually have a time where anyone can ask me anything in regards of the database management, the challenges they actually face at the same time. So that are the 3 key parts in terms of the database bootcamp that we have. And we also have this mission card for everyone. So all the 10 steps that I've just mentioned just now. So every time when they actually completed the step, they're actually coaches in every single table that actually going to sign it off so that they actually qualified to move to the next step. So this actually help, like what Rina said, it's not about the knowledge. A lot of people know about it, but how many of us are actually doing about it? So this is a camp about action. That's why it's called a boot camp. Boot camp got to just get us up and doing the things. And that will be key things about what we actually do in database bootcamp. And also this bootcamp is, and we're going to have the next one on the 6th of September. So if you're planning to sign up for this database bootcamp, do ensure that you sign up as soon as possible once the sign-up form is ready, because in the past we have a lot of people on the waiting list because we only can take in X number of people.
Right. Maybe Nicholas, you can stop sharing the screen. But what I remember from this is there were actually live results coming in from the event that they were actually seeing changes in their business because database were moving, right? They were having that database using it to help them fuel their business. And you have people getting listings, getting appointments. I also know one agent got closing from the database bootcamp is because she went and talked back to the database, right? And there's real story, right? So it's interesting, it's amazing how if you put our database to work, the value you will get from our business, it's so much more rewarding. And at the same time, we are doing things that matter. We're not just doing something, just like what Roslan said, we are doing it for ourselves. We're not doing something just to make a point to the rest of the world, but we are doing something for ourselves. And those are the activities that matter, right? So I would like to encourage everyone to sign up. How many of you on the chat box, right, in Facebook and also in Zoom, how many of you would like to participate in the next database bootcamp? Please put in the chat box, say yes. If you're interested to participate in the next bootcamp for database bootcamp, please put in the chat box, say yes. Right. Yes, I will highly encourage everyone to take advantage of this opportunity because you can see that it's helping some of our agents to do better and also to build a business that is worth having, right? Right. Let's move away from that and let's move forward. Let's talk about something practical. Maybe I'll start with Rina. Rina, sorry, I'll start with Roslan. I'm sorry, Roslan first, not Rina. Roslan dulu. Roslan, can you share with us how do you organize your database and what kind of text that you are using it that's making your database workable and helpful?
Okay. Now all my database that I work on are basically on command in context. And then from the leads that I got from campaigns, they'll be automatically be in context and so straight away into smart plans. So,
Right.
but before it goes during campaigns, now we can already use the tagging, so it will be automatically tagged before it goes to smart plan. So
Maybe
how
the
I
virtual support can share screen for Roslan. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
Go
this is a example of how I tag my database or my contacts in command based on the leads. For example, I have FB leads, so I know that this particular client number is from the leads that I got from campaigns, and from which campaign is also tagged. Like for example, Kota Warisan, Pesada Aman, Bukit Mahkota, and then you have Tanah Merah leads. So you already know, because like I said, when you do it for yourself, you already know that when you tag Kota Warisan, in your mind, you already know these are the portfolio of clients who are looking for properties below 500,000 or below 700,000. So when you look at Tanah Merah leads, for example, you already know in the back of your mind that these are clients who are looking for $3 million properties. So in a way, when you do your smart plans or when you do your communication, with the database that you have, so you already know what type of conversation that you should have with the portfolio or with the category of the database that you have based on the tagging that you have in command. So that is how I do it. But the best thing about these campaigns or contacts, you can tag whatever you want as long as you understand what the tagging is all about. Like I said, it's always for you. So something that you are comfortable with, something that you understand, something that by just a glance to the number, to the tag, you already know who or what this database or contact falls under which category. So this is how I do my contacts lah.
Right. And next slide, please, Marcus, if you can move the slides forward. And you are using the mobile format right now, right? The mobile.
Yes, because not all the time we will be in front of our PC or laptop, So when we are mobile outside during viewings or during appointments, so we have our KW apps through our phone. So now most of the contacts are via KW apps. So while waiting for your clients to turn up, you can start scrolling down your KW apps and start contacting, just saying hi, and I'm in this vicinity, I'm in, like say for example, in Subang, and you know that these clients are in Subang area, so I'm in Subang, if you're free, probably we can have teh tarik or things like that lah, but not
Right.
all the time lah, because some people will think that this rent is crazy, asking us for teh tarik every day, things like that. So you have to really know and evaluate how you want to contact your clients, because we do not want to be seen as someone like those selling things to you, that you get messages, WhatsApp blast, whether it's telecommunication ke apa, I'm not going to say anything, but it's more on a personal touch kind of thing, more on like you already know that person and that person recognize you or who you are. So that's where the best communication is, and which can turn into something which is beneficial for both parties.
Right. Are you aware that KW Command app, mobile app right now has WhatsApp integration?
Really?
Yes. Are you aware?
I'm not sure.
Yes, you can. Actually, if you click on the message button, it will link you to the WhatsApp link straight away.
Yeah, you're given the options whether you want to SMS them or WhatsApp them. Please make sure that you actually downloaded the latest version of KW Command.
I need to update
WhatsApp
because when I click, it's only via SMS.
Yeah, but now WhatsApp integration is already ready. I think it was just enabled a couple of weeks ago, Nicholas. Yes, the technology.
Yes, exactly. When we first shared this last week during Winning Mondays, when it was like so surprised that, hey, now we can basically do so. And for benefits of everyone, every 2 weeks you actually see new features in Command and also the mobile apps at the same time. So just come back and make sure that you check it out, the options. Yeah.
Yes, Marcus or virtual support, would you please sign in the link to download the Android and the iOS for the KW Command mobile app. KW Command app. Yeah, the KW Command mobile app on the chat box in Facebook and also on Zoom, so that everyone is aware. Because I think when you upload it and you download it from the App Store, you could click the update for the latest version. It has just been updated again, I think 2 weeks ago. Now opportunities and WhatsApp is all integrated inside Command. Let's switch gears to Rina. Rina, how about you? How do you manage how does your database structure looks like? Marcus, we can start sharing the screen for Rina.
Generally, I use three tools. One is command, definitely. This is where all the database is. And I pretty much reliant on the tagging inside command to extract out certain group of client when I want to communicate with them. But I also have a standby Google Sheet where I already formatted towards KW activate. So meaning it's always command and KW activate, command and KW activate. So the way my tagging method is I divided into 5. The first is I will tag them using their role, whether they are leads, they are clients, or they are my team member, my COA agents, or friends, family, those type. So for contact role, right, even for one person, they can have multiple role. Like for example, they are also my friends, but they are also my team member, or they are also client, but they're also my friend. So I will have that because it will be very, very important on certain message that I wanted to give at certain groups. So I will definitely call out this group using filtering system inside command. Then definitely on second is the lead source. Where do I get these people? Either from my property portal or my campaign or my ads manager for my referrals or networking event, trainings, Mina, face-to-face, lunch, dinner. So I do have this tracking of the lead sources. And as emphasize, especially for those that paid one, like campaign and property portal, because I want to actually track the effectiveness for every money spent. What is the effectiveness of the lead generated from that particular activity? And then I also tag them using building, condos, project development, or area. This is a very important also for groupings, but because I handle mostly residential condos, so it is a little bit easier. I think for landed property, you can, if I were to handle landed property, I would also tag them using the development area or the type of houses they are in the cluster. And then definitely have to tag them by holiday celebration. So because I also handle international market, I have to fill in also like their nationality as well. So definitely religion, race. This is because you want to wish your contacts Selamat Hari Raya, Happy Merdeka, Happy New Year. You know, Happy New Year apply for everybody in the world, but certain holidays only apply for certain nationality. And then a certain celebration, certain religion. So this one you need to be like aware of the customary. And then the last one, I have special group. Like for example, I have a cash buyer group, I have an investor group, I have a group that only interested in buying below market value. And then I also segmentize my database, my client, gold, diamond, platinum, circle, depends on their how much business of referral business or even their own personal business bring to my revenue. So each type that it will be like because let's say for example, if I'm giving away, I'm doing a giveaway, like giveaway the dinner, lunch or dinner, right? So at least I can target which part that I can
Yeah.
So this is my actually tagging method.
So it sounds like, from me, when I look at this, you are very clear how you want your database to look like, because then you will know how to communicate. Like for example, I like it when you say I only want to spend, because of I don't have, like, we have limited time, number one, and we also have limited resources. Can't afford to buy 1,000 people lunch every year, right? But it doesn't make sense, right? But I want to talk to my Platinum Circle clients every year once, at least one lunch with them every year. So I know specifically who do I go out for lunch with, because that's the one that gives me the most return on my investment. right? So that's the idea, because when you understand how your database is, you know now who are the top 20, 30 people. Because if you have 40 or 50 lunches a year, right? And what Nicholas is saying, one contact give you 256 referral opportunities, right? That's the opportunity you are having right now, every lunch. And 50 lunch a year is basically one lunch a week.
Actually, I got this idea, right? How to tag the special group. When I attend the family reunion, you know, earlier this year we have a KW family reunion, and there's one agent actually sharing how they only do business like only certain month of the year, and another certain month of the year go holiday. So,
Yes.
so I was like paying so much attention for that, because I would want to have that kind of business as well. And they were sharing about giveaway and doing I think that one of the giveaway they did is like a premiere to a movie, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the idea.
Yeah. But you can't do that to everyone, right? You got to do
Yeah,
that only to certain
cannot.
people. And in order for you to know these certain people, you need to then put them in a systematic way so you know who they are, right? Thank you for sharing that. I will go back to Roslan. Roslan, based on your database right now, right? What's your system in place to communicate with them regularly? How do you use a system? I'm assuming you're using KW Activate as well, right? But how regular are you using it, and what are the skills that, so what are the things that you do to talk to the database?
To those closed database, clients who are in constant communication, normally I go to KW Activate. But those who are in communication, let's say not that regular, they'll probably be under Smart Plan via email or via Twilio. And then like what Rina said, you also categorize the urgency of communication with each database in your system, because you cannot be communicating with everyone at the same time, because topics or issues at that moment or that particular time will be different. For example, if you have a certain listing that you have just listed, so you know that certain category of people or certain group which may be interested in this, so that's where you start communicating with them. Not to say blast, but the first initial probably will be a KW Activate blast, but it's more on a personalized, thanks to KW Activate, more on personalized, so they'll know that you are basically talking to them personally. And then from there, depending on the response that they give, and this is where you follow up, you're on the second phase of communication with them.
Right. And using KW Activate is one of the systematic ways you use. So you know what stage they are in, and you probably monitor them from opportunities, and then you look at what stage they are in. Nick, maybe you want to share just a little bit about, I know you're going to cover KW Activate later on in a separate episode, but maybe you can just touch base the foundation of KW Activate, and just for the benefit of audience who hearing this Activate, actually what is Activate all about? What are we activating actually? I was very funny. I was wearing the t-shirt and my wife saw me, I'm activated. Say, what do you mean you're activated? So can you like kind of tell us the premise of how you and the tech team design the whole KW Activate system?
Yeah, the whole idea of us coming this together is basically, when we call it KW Activate, what are we activating, right? We're activating your database that you basically have to turn the database to be a data bank. So that's the key things behind the concept of this KW Activate. And it's not so much about a WhatsApp blasting tool. So like you can find many blasting tools out there, but this is beyond a blasting tool, because it's an automation systematic tool that we actually talk about, where you can basically put all the touches that you want to reach out to your potential customers, and you can basically technically automate it, and the message will be basically sending out on your behalf, personalized as human as possible to you and your customers on behalf of you.
Yeah, if the virtual support can help me, I don't know why I did it, but I can't get it. The link, the clickable link, if the virtual support can put the clickable link to KW Activate on the chat box, both in Zoom and also in Facebook, that will be very helpful. But the goal is
for all KW agents that we are all given free trial for KW Activate. That just hit us to www.kwactivate.com and get your free trial and test this system out by yourself. Yeah.
Right. And I think the idea was when Nicholas talking to other agents, right? The number one issue is how do we utilize WhatsApp as the main communication channel
Yep.
with automation, right? With database and WhatsApp communication automation was something that was really everyone was crying out for me, and Nicholas and the team decided let's do something about it. And in a few months, we actually came out with this system. And there's so many upgrade versions. I can't tell you the secret, but Rina and Roslan will love it because we have so many new potential upgrades that's coming in that I'm seeing it that's like so amazing, right? Like when you talk about automation, really automation, right? So I think that's coming very soon as we are finalizing some of the new features and functions in the KW Activate, which again is not going to stay where it is because technology has to move forward and progress. Nick, can you share why technology need to progress that way?
Yeah, it's very important because we are always chasing against the latest tool, the latest phone, and the latest gadgets, and So similarly to in terms of technologies, we have to constantly upgrade. As we hear all the feedback from all our agents, that the team actually constantly put into the developments like the mind, and also thinking behind how we can basically make this better in terms of the user interface, in terms of user experience for all our agents. And I believe a lot of agents actually given us a lot of feedback in terms of I want this feature, I want this, how I want to do it in terms of my own ways and So we actually consolidate a lot of all this and then we put into the pilot test and see what is the best things that we can basically bring it to everyone in the shortest period of time possible. So constantly improving our technology is our core values on our side.
Right, that's our commitment to all our agents. Right, I think because of time, I only have time for one last question, which I think is a very important question. A lot of times when we ask agents to do some of this work, I'm going to start with maybe Rina or the same question to Roslan. A lot of times when we talk about this kind of issues of database and planning the database and structuring the database, a lot of agents just give us a lot of pushback saying that I don't have enough time, it's wasting time, I don't see results right now, I want to do things that give me a result today kind of thing, and struggling to break through to just pause and think about our business in the long term, right? So Rina, what do you say to those people like who are struggling to like, I can't let go of my time, I got so much things to do, but I don't have time to do my database, but I know database is important, but I want to do something that give me a sale right now. I mean, there's always that tussle, right? That tension between doing a sale today and building my database. There's always this tension. What do you say about this, Rina? What's your thoughts about this?
Actually, you don't have to choose. For me, it's as simple as you don't have to choose. If you really care about your business and you want it to make it easier in the future, whereby that you want your leads generation to be consistent, your result to be consistent, you have no choice. You have to make time. So and then it's not about choosing choosing between having sales now and building this. It's not either or. You can do both because the building part only takes only a small fraction of your time. Like we share from the beginning, it's always start small, and start small. And if you want to make it more simpler, just attend the bootcamp. As simple as that.
Right.
And you have 30 days in a month. You can do 29 days. You can do your activity that brings sales today, and then just sacrifice that one day to build something for the future.
Right. Thank you very much, Rina. That's a very good perspective. Is don't make a choice, decide, and it's doable. It's just how fast and how far you want to go, and that decision is on us because there's no standardization of, oh, you must be done everything in one day. It's not like that, right? It's really your pace. Roslan, how about you? What do you advise people who are in that journey, like having this tension between, oh, I want to sale now versus I want to build my database? What's your advice to them?
My take on this is simple, John. If you don't have time, make sure that you have a lot of money so that you can employ someone to do it for you.
Right.
But if you don't have that much money, so you have to do it yourself. But when I say about doing it yourself, doesn't mean that you have to slug or log yourself like 6 hours a day just to do database. The keyword is, like I said earlier, it's about consistency. 10, 5 5-10 minutes a day is even better than 1 hour or 2 hours a day of doing it. For example, you look at what the big organizations are doing. For example, the telecommunication people are doing. They paid millions of dollars in order for them to get leads. And from that leads became their database. And from database, is from a pool, it became a lake, a data lake from them. So ours is just a base. It's not a lake or a sea or ocean yet. It's just a base. So all you need to do is that 5 minutes of 5 or 10 minutes a day. And in order for you to organize and to have to start your database. So another thing that my advice is stop giving excuses to yourself when you want to do something, because it's basically just your mind, your demons in you saying that this is difficult, this is no time, you have no time to do this, I cannot, there's no results. Nothing works overnight. You can't expect your database, your leads to come today and tomorrow you close a 5 million or 10 million ringgit deal. It can happen, depending on your luck, things like that. But generally, logically, it's not going to take overnight. You have to build your database, you have to nurture your database, and in due time, out of 1,000 leads that you have, probably 1% of that also is good enough, when you close a deal from there. So consistently is the keyword here, just 5-10 minutes a day to do.
Yeah. It's about consistency. It's about finding the right calculation, the right formula for your database. Everyone's database formula is very different. It could be 1%, it could be 10%, it could be 50%, it could be 3%. It really doesn't matter. But start doing something about it, because, and I think the industry needs this. I think the industry needs to understand that we need to build relationship with our database, not just transactions. I think agents that is transactional can't last long in this business, but agents that are relational, that is building value and relationship with their clients, will stay long-term in this business. And in the shift market, relationship is the one that helps us build our business, not transactions. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, how many are you in the chat box, in the Zoom and also in Facebook? You are learning something today. If you're learning something, please press 1 on the chat box. If you're learning something, please press 1. I want you all to just acknowledge both Rina and Roslan as well for taking the time off to be very open and transparent to share about a part of their business. Please express your gratitude to Rina and Roslan as we close on the chat box, because I think they are both good examples, good inspiration for us. It's so interesting to hear Rina say wants to go back to boot camp again. I will change the menu of the food for you, Rina, but you just so that you are returning to come back, right? But it's very interesting to see that it's not about the education, is about the process, right? It's about us doing it together. It's about us having that activity that drives us, the behavior. The challenge is not an information issue, it's an action issue. We have an issue in taking actions, not an issue in receiving information. There's so many information out there today that is available for free, but it's the taking action that's the problem for us. It's a behavioral issue. So please express your gratitude to Rina and Roslan on the chat box. While we are waiting,
right on to this also, like John, we like just you mentioned about how do the agent basically jump on this immediately, right? We have this coming week, we have a prop tech, where the property tech enabled day, where we actually give an opportunity to all the agents to go back to the market center, and then they will be trained on how to basically do this. And I hope to really encourage all KW agents to really make sure to go back to your market center the next 3 days to really come back and relearn, unlearn, and also come back to see how you can basically improve all the things that you do and leveraging on all the technologies that we basically have.
Right. I'm going to go for announcements, then we can finish some last thoughts with Rina and Roslan. I like it. Someone call it R&R. I never thought about it. R&R, okay? Marcus, can I have the announcements, please, while waiting? Right. Announcements, please, Marcus. Right. So we are all having value stories to be uploaded every week. Please share that value story out. Next slide, please. We are now returning to the touch points. So I starting, I think, next week onwards on Friday, I think, or this week Friday, every Friday, you will be getting a new touch point, because we feel that based on the last prop tech, we got feedback from the agents on the ground. There's like, John, we need more touch points. We don't have time to create messages. Sometimes we don't know what to send out to our clients every week, right? What is it that we do? And I think during the lockdown period, we did a lot of touch points to help agents to touch base with their clients, either through the designs or through the text messages that we created. So we are going to resume that every Friday. You will get a standardized touch point, a repeated different touch points every Friday, because I believe in a shifting market, we need to start that conversation right now, right? As we are shifting, as the market is going through a challenging moment or having a change in the dynamics of the market, having communication is the best time right now. Just as when it was the lockdown, it was all very, it was a shifting market during the lockdown, right? And the communication was the one that's important. The agent that stays in contact or stays in relationship with their clients have the highest chance of retaining the business and building market share. So please, based on all of your requests, and because the company exists to work for everyone here, we have decided to come up with this touch point. Every Friday, you will receive the touch point, the templates, and also the text templates so that you can send out to the clients through whatever means that you want, either via WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever that you want to do. But we encourage you to start having that communication, start touching back your database. Thank you. Next slide, please. As what Nicholas is sharing, right, we are going to have our prop tech solution. Now, if you are a guest here today, do sign up on the chat box on Facebook and also on Zoom. We're going to put the chat box, a link, a registration link. If you're a guest, please sign up to join our prop tech. You are able to see how we run our technology and also at the same time, how we manage database and all that. If you're interested in database, we are here to serve you as well with no obligation. So please do sign up. Can I have the Google Forms on the chat box, please? And for you, as an agent in KW, please, your market center already have allocated the slots for you guys. Please respond to your market center support to confirm your slots. I think the first day is tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, Nicholas. Tomorrow will be in MC2 for the MC3 agents.
This Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. We're starting on Wednesday. I'm sorry. So Wednesday, right? So this is where we are right now. Okay. So Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. The reason why MC3 is doing it in MC2 is because the premises is going through some upgrade renovation. So we're going to use MC2's premise to do this. So I encourage everyone, please sign up and join this thing and start building your business, start taking action. Okay. After this session, your action point should be go to PropTech and start there. That's the fastest way and the easiest way is happening this week, right? Next slide, please. Right, due to PropTech, the regional team and the market center support staff will be a little bit slow in response due to all of us are very involved. The last round we had so many people in the office and we are trying to help so many people. And I want to give a shout out to all the volunteer tech commanders, the volunteers from all market centers, agents that came and supported this to help the agents how to use the technology that we have and how to organize their database, how to launch their first campaign. We had so many people launch their first campaign that day, that week, last week, and maybe this is the same time we will emulate that again. So do know that we will be a bit slow in responding due to PropTech. Next slide, please. Right, I want to ask some last thoughts. Rina, last thoughts. What are some of your last advice to agents here today about database?
My last advice is that I want them to go back with a question that the first question that I actually mentioned during my first sharing is, what is the real asset in your business? Just go back and really think about it. What's the real asset? And if you were to exit this business, right, today, what are the things that will be valuables? Like, for example, that you know, if I were to exit my business right now, how do I value my business now? So if I can answer that, then I will know where is my real asset is.
Well, that's a very, very good perspective. Very deep, but very good perspective. What's the value of your real assets in your business right now? How, if I were to sell my business, how much someone will pay for it right now? That's a very good question. Very good thought. Roslan, how about you? What's your last thoughts to our audience here today?
Our business in the real estate industry is always about leads, actually. So when you talk about leads, they'll be converted into your database. So this is where your database can turn your income into something which is what you want according to your GCI. You know, so always remember that the database is very important to you, for you in your business. And without a database, you still can do it. There are people who do this without any database, but it will be a bit chaotic in terms of managing things. So when you already have a proven method of doing it, So why reinvent on something which is not sure? So you already have a method of how to handle your database. So just follow the proven method, and in due time, everything will fall in place, and you will have what you want to achieve actually. And one thing, it's not going to be a easy task, because if it's a very easy task, people won't be spending millions of dollars just to get leads or to get database. So, but as a realtor, this is where you start to start building your database, and also try to turn your database into something which is like we say, data banks. Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right.
my take on it.
Thank you so much. Nick, how about you? What's your advice to some of us here today to in terms of database? What are some last advice to agents today?
I'll take on with some of the points shared by Rina and Roslan. Don't overthink and just do it.
Don't overthink, and sometimes we just think too much, right? Just do it, and you will and do it with expectation through time, with time given, with a time expectation, right? My last thought is this is the book, this is the Bible that Gary Keller has written to us how to run our business. And if you really study this book, it's how you use your database to the maximum to generate the best income for you, because it's all about leads, leverage, and listings, right? How do you use database? And without database, it's very hard to utilize some of this. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much. Page 142. Rina, like you already like memorized the whole book. 1437, 142, right? The models 137, database is 142, MREA book, right? So use this book to help you build your business. This season in a shifting market, if you're not using this and you're not using a database, all of us will be in trouble if you're not doing this. So it's our responsibility as an organization to train and equip everyone in this direction. So thank you very much, guys. Rina and Roslan, thank you so much for taking time of your business and sharing such inspirational sharings about how you're running your business. And I know you're all running very successful businesses. So thank you so much for being part of this, and thank you for doing this, right? So everyone else, thank you so much. We will have the next episode next week. Stay tuned for the next episode. Every week is going to be exciting episode in how we're leveraging our database and using technology to build our business in the shifting market. With that, signing off this morning. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day. See you all next training session. Thank you, guys.
John. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Maria.
Everyone.
Thank you, Rina. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.